All right, I'm going to call this meeting to order, and I'm going to add 2 items to our agenda. We had a letter from the Energy Committee regarding heat pumps for the town office. So that's be under correspondence for discussion. And then we received some DRB decisions. They're going into our correspondence for information. And with that, we'll go into the regular scheduled program, and we have the minutes from September 26th.
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes from September 26th.
I'll second that.
Okay, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, we have warrants for payment, and we have warrant 8, 8P. We have the Recreation Board number 2. We have to ratify Recreation Board number 1, and which was money for a soccer tournament. And then ratify 7A, which was a payroll transfer that wasn't included in the last warrants at our last meeting.
Well, I'll move that we approve warrants 8, 8P, Recreation Board number 2. We ratify Recreation Board number 1 and approve or ratify warrant 7A.
I'll second it.
Okay, any discussion? All right, under warrant 8, the total is $17,677.54. And that went towards Green Mountain Power, fuel for the Highway Department, postage for the DRB, our monthly rescue bill of $3,620, payroll transfers, sand and gravel from the Carpenter Pit, and our Wyndham Solid Waste Management District assessment, quarterly assessment of $4,055, and delinquent tax collector expenses for a tax sale, setting up a tax sale. Any other discussion? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right. Any public comments, anything?
Well, I thought Geraldine might be here, but she failed to let you know that at the last select board meeting, that she and I came over and planted the tulip bulbs for Beverly Knapp. And right outside the
Oh,
window
great.
there.
Oh, great.
So
Nice.
that's very immaterial, but
No,
we've done
that's
it.
very nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's all taken care of.
Oh, good, thank you for doing
She can
that.
watch us,
Yes.
see if we do our work right.
Right, she sent me a note saying she wasn't feeling well, but you know, it was also a nice day to maybe go to the beach for.
Oh.
So, you never know where these,
But it was very nice of Gerald, and I stood over and she did planting.
yeah.
So, we had a nice time. It was a beautiful day.
Great,
And I'm here, I thought Christina would be here, but I'm here for the fields.
okay.
Okay.
Great. All right, so, on to our road foreman's report. And at the Prospect Hill trustees meeting, controlling invasives has been a big issue, and the cost of doing that, contracting it out, it was discussed whether or not the highway department could do that. And so Lee was apparently quite willing, and might have even gone up yesterday with the tractor and the mower to do some mowing. He was going to check with Ed Anthony's first. So he was ready to roll, so that was good news. I don't have any other.
I don't have any input for the road foreman.
I just have a follow-up question about that. So does the highway department already have all the necessary equipment? Which means...
They have a flail mower,
Okay,
and so that's what Lee was going to take up with him. So-
okay. Because I know that at our last Prospect Hill meeting, they were requesting funds to purchase a specialized piece. I was
yeah.
curious of what the highway department has, does the same thing, or...
No, this is a different piece of equipment
Right,
that goes on a
okay.
tractor.
Okay, but it seems that they'll be pleased with the results of that, or the jury's out.
Yeah, the jury's out.
Okay.
Lee was willing and able.
That's great.
So,
Okay.
Under correspondence for information, is there anything you'd like to discuss there?
I guess I'll just, I did RSVP, I'm gonna try to go to that solar,
That's
we'll
tomorrow.
do that tomorrow.
Yep.
In the afternoon, so I called that, and I'm planning on going to that, I don't know if you were still.
I would like to have a meeting in Northampton, so I don't
Okay.
know if we'll be back in time.
Okay, that's, the Wyndham Solid Waste Management is having, I guess they're having their ribbon cutting for the
Right.
new
Yeah.
solar field, so. That's great, good. Let's see, so moving on, under correspondence for discussion and their action, we have the letter from the Energy Committee. And they were having their meeting here on Monday, and they were wondering if a heat pump or two might be appropriate for this building. It would help with the cooling and the heating. And we're wondering if they were offering to look into this further and get some quotes and get some information as to whether it would actually work well here. And they would like to know whether we'd like them to go ahead with that.
I think a couple things in that, wasn't there kind of a caveat to how much we use the wood heat here? That made kind of
Yeah, I guess maybe when the wood stove is cranking, it might not, they might not need the heat pumps up running at that time.
Right. Yeah, it seems like, so those would really be just, and I kind of, does it be like one of the outside units in there? Is he talking the wall
Yeah.
units?
Yes.
The ceiling
Mount
wall
on the
units,
wall.
yeah.
Yeah.
So really, they probably would just use for air conditioning for the most part. I mean, during the office hours and even on the weekend, is the stove going?
Not on the weekends.
They don't come in and fill it,
No,
yeah.
no.
So I guess just like they manage, if they would they do like a cost benefit, like, okay, here's what we're doing, and
Yeah,
cost for this, so, yeah,
yeah,
why
I
not?
think so.
Take a
Yeah, I
look
think
at
it'd be worth knowing.
The other source of heat here is the electric baseboard.
Yeah.
Right,
I would think the heat pumps would be far more efficient.
Efficient.
yes, yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
So let's, yes,
I was just gonna comment, we have one at home, which is really very good, and we have one over at the Historical Society that's good.
a heat pump?
Yes,
Wow.
and you can get rebates for them
Yes,
too,
yes,
I'm sure they
energy
would get that for you. And,
efficiency.
yeah, they, both of them at home and here, I'm very pleased with.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it would work well here, and, you know, there's times that would work when they don't want a stove cranking up and being 90 degrees in here, so, I think, you know, that midwinter maybe they wouldn't use it, but they would probably use it otherwise.
The others, yeah, maybe the fall and spring,
Spring, yeah.
that time. Yeah.
Because it takes the moisture too, with the air conditioning and whatever, so with all this dampness that we're been having, it'd be really good for that.
Mhm. So shall we
You want a motion?
give them, yes, let's,
So I'll move that we ask the Energy Committee to look into the utility of heat pumps for the town office.
I'll second.
okay, any more discussion? Okay, all those in favor? Aye. All right, I can send them a note back, letting them know. And we'll, you know, if Stan Howe is involved with this, you know we're going to get,
Mm-hmm.
you know, a very detailed, it's gonna be a very detailed and thorough process here. All right, under new business, I think this is for the 30th or 40th time, I think. There's a request from the Green Mountain Mummers to use the Common on Sunday, October 28th at noontime. What would you like to do?
I'll move that we approve the request from the Green Mountain Mummers to use the common on Sunday, October 28th at noon for the duration of their performance.
I'll second it.
Okay, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, I'll let them know that they have again been granted use of the common. Under audit estimates, we don't have, as far as I know, we haven't received any estimates yet.
No, the request went out for the audits. From what I understand, so far, one of the companies, I'm not sure how many were sent out, but one of the companies sent back a request for one of our town reports. So that's as far as we've got with getting estimates to have the audit done. Yeah.
So the RFP is asking that anyone interested in doing those audits are to send a proposal to the town office by the 23rd of October.
Okay.
So in time for our next meeting.
Did I ask how often you do audits?
Let's see.
Is there any law or any,
No, there is,
Parameters?
doesn't seem to be any law.
oh,
We were I wasn't able to speak with Charlotte or Lori about it today, but we've been trying to remember when the last audit was. And I know that it wasn't in 2011 because I had a town report from 2011. It wasn't in that budget. And some of our archivists in the audience.
Well, if the vault had been open, if I brought my information so I could get into it, I would have looked at the old town reports. But
Yeah.
I know, I'm not sure if Maria was still, we were still doing auditing together, but it was quite a while ago. It was like, 9, 10, 11, somewhere around there.
I'm surprised.
But I can look that up tomorrow if you'd like me
Yeah,
to.
that'd be great.
Okay.
I'm surprised there's no regulations for select boards. I mean, there are for school boards and everybody else.
Does it
Well, we
depend
don't
on the
want to
size
scratch
of the
that
budget?
too deep yet.
Well, I know, yeah.
Yeah.
And just for the protection of the people that are doing the local audits, or protection for the treasurer or whatever, it seems to
Right.
me that you should have some audits.
Yeah. I think some of that may be corporate knowledge too, because as far as we know, have they done one maybe one since you were on the select board?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
But none since, so at least for 3 years they haven't done one. So
Yeah.
I didn't even, until we started doing some research, know that we did audits.
Oh, well,
So,
We,
Yeah.
well, we do them, it's sort of, maybe we do it certain, when the planets are aligned, so it's not a regular.
I think it's the budgeting, when you get to the end of the budget and you see the cost of the audit, it's an easy
Oh,
one.
okay.
Yeah,
Yes,
they are
yes,
expensive.
traditionally, you think about doing an audit, and
Okay.
then as you're trying to whittle down your budget numbers, you start, throwing things overboard, and that's one that gets thrown overboard sometimes. But the last time we did it, we came out very well.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
and we're very
Yeah,
lucky
and-
we've got such good people, so,
Yes.
there are other places in the state that have had
Right.
real
There
problems.
are other places nearby that do audits every year.
Yeah.
Have an outside company come in and do an audit every year. So,
Oh, I remember when the last audit was done, I came over to meet with them and ask them, what we were doing, if they could give us any suggestions on how we approached doing our audit as an auditor. And they said we were doing very well, we were doing the things that should be done. But I would really feel better if the town would do one like at least every 5 years or something like that. Every 3 to 5 years. We've got very efficient people here in the office. And it's just for their protection.
mhm.
And it's my 2 cents. And I think in the 21 years I was auditor, was twice they did audits.
Really? Wow.
No time like the present then.
I know.
Well, that leads us into our next item, which is warning a special town meeting to consider funding an audit. Do you want to just recap that, or?
Sure. So right now, not to jump too far ahead, but so the process we're trying to look at for this gravel pit acquisition is going to require a bond, which is going to require, before we can get a bond, the bonding agency requires an audit within the last fiscal year for your town. They prefer, I think we mentioned 3 is what I was told, but they're willing to take our town reports for the other 2. So to even begin to move ahead with this process, we need to have the town audit done, so then we can move into the timeline for the bonding, which we'll get the audit done. As we work through the gravel pit and we bring that to a vote for the town, then the the bonding process to get the letters and have them reviewed and ensure the town meets all the requirements would begin. I think they would be submitted in the May timeframe to the bonding bank, and then that money would become available for purchase if approved by the voters in August. So really the whole process begins with having to get this audit taken care of to continue down, to take care of the other issues, or the other things we need to do to get the approval for the gravel pit. Does that good? Enough detail on that? Okay. And I guess once we have the motion for the discussion, we can talk about money a little bit, but.
Okay. All right. Well,
I'll make the motion. So we're making a motion to warn the special town meeting to consider funding the audit?
yes.
Okay.
I'll second it.
Okay, any discussion?
Do we want to read the proposed audit?
All right, so this would be Town of Dummerston, warning for a special town meeting on November 14th, 2018. And it would be 7 p.m., I think. Okay, so the legal voters of the Town of Dummerston are hereby notified and warned to meet in the downstairs of the Dummerston Congregational Church at 1535 Middle Road in said town on Wednesday, November 14th, 2018 at 7 p.m. to transact the following business of the town. Article 1. Shall the voters of the Town of Dummerston authorize the Select Board to transfer up to, we have in here, 20,000 of monies from the Highway Fund to the General Fund to be used for an audit of the town accounts. And then dated today, and then we would warn it. And that would, approving this today would give us the, we'd fit in the time frame for the November 14th, not being more than 40, is it
Less than 30.
Yeah.
More than 40.
Yeah.
I think we figured it was 35 days.
Yeah, so right in the middle.
Yeah.
So we have to decide, do we want to, I recall the last time we had an audit, it was something like 12,000.
I don't remember, I just wrote down cost,
Yeah.
check that too.
Yeah,
Well, on the discussion, so the town, who I think they have a little more complex, maybe audit process, although we haven't had one in at least 6, maybe 7 years, so that can factor into it. Ran just over 15,000 for their last one, is what I believe. So I think the way this is written, it says up to 20,000, and that way we can begin the process. But once we get those estimates back, when we go to the
right.
when we go to the actual town, the special town meeting, we'll have the exact number. But this is no more than 20. I mean,
Yes, we
does that
could,
give us enough leeway?
Yeah, I think so.
We're happy with that?
yeah, we could amend it at the town.
At town meeting.
Yeah,
So, and so on that note, this would come from the highway fund. This year, we approved, I think it was 90 or 95,000 for our paving. 95,000 for the paving. The contractor we used, who I actually did an excellent job over there, came in probably about, I forget the exact number, but in the 60s, I believe, for it. So we have, that is where the money, I think we're looking at in the highway fund. That's what we would ask the residents to approve us to move over to the general fund, so then we could pay for the audit. So that's where that money's coming from. It'd be no increase in the current budget that we have.
Okay, so any other discussion? Any comments from the public?
Gonna paint white lines, we have money for that?
Yeah,
I think-
that's already budgeted.
I think it's already budgeted, didn't it?
Yeah.
We did have white
When
line.
you get older, you want the white lines.
Anyone?
I think that discussion started right about the time I came here. With
The white lines.
This is Avery, I
I think
think.
it was
Yes,
going on.
Janet, yes,
Before
yes.
then, yeah. All right, any more discussion? All those in favor then of this?
Aye.
Aye. All right, so, needs to be signed. As do the minutes and warrants. All right, so, when I was reading the guidelines for a special town meeting, I had been assuming that we needed to have an informational meeting, but I don't think the statute should actually require that.
Oh, okay.
And so, but we might want to just set a portion of our meeting, say, on the 7th, to going over, you know, the estimates that we've received and any questions that people have. And so we could have, go ahead and have an informational meeting on the 7th. If everyone's okay with that?
Yes.
Yep, okay. Let's see. Then, going down our agenda here, any gravel pit update?
Yes, can I just step back one on that?
Sure.
Informational meeting. How do we, other than the agenda, how do we get the word out? What's our,
I think,
because we'll warn the special town meeting, but we want to make sure we get as much
right,
word out
so
as we can.
we have to post this warning at least 5 days before the meeting. We can have it on the BCTV. We can, you know, discuss it at our meetings, you know, the 2 meetings we'll have between now and then.
Mhm.
I wonder, the views of Dummerston's supposed to come out that same week. It's too bad
Yeah.
we slip a piece of paper in there. It's
Right.
going in every mailbox.
I suppose we could use the front porch. There are a couple
Yeah,
other
in the front.
electronic
Yeah.
newsletters that go out to people, and
Yeah.
Lori.
Lori sends usually,
Yep,
She sends an email.
almost
Yeah.
weekly.
So
Yeah.
I wonder if that, an email, I almost think it shouldn't be embedded with a bunch of other information. I mean, a
Just a
special
sign.
town meeting is kind of a big deal, so I think
Yeah.
that's kind of worth an email,
Mhm.
you know, going out if you think that's appropriate
And I'm sure Lori would send a special email.
for that, for the
Yeah.
informational meeting.
yeah, we could ask her to
Yeah.
do
See
that.
if you would do that for us.
Mhm.
Okay.
And where else? Of course, we would put it on the website,
Mm.
people.
Maybe I'll send Wendy the report from the Commons. I could also send her a note, if that's what we're planning on doing, in case she does
Mm-hmm.
do an article next Wednesday.
Yeah, that would be great.
Okay, I'll do that. Okay, thanks. So for the gravel pit, we talked that the letter of intent that was, had been sent from the 2 town lawyers to Mike's lawyer. He has that. There's been a little bit of back and forth with that letter of intent. So that's still being worked on right now. The intermunicipal agreement, so just one more step in the process, and this would be the agreement on how the 2 towns would work together. Not necessarily, it'd be how the 2 towns work together, conducting the use of the gravel pit, sharing responsibilities, those kind of things. That's in work. one of the attorneys has a pretty big project going on right now, so I think this is kind of, you know, getting some attention as he gets information in, but it's certainly not the focus, but I think that will change, you know, soon enough as we move forward. We did do the meeting with the Putney representatives. I think we mentioned this last time, or it was coming up, that we were going to do it with Stevens Associates, and they're doing so that's what we approved that $1,500 for, where they're going to go down there and well, they're doing a survey essentially of the gravel to give us an estimate of material that's still in the gravel pit. So that they've done that, they've walked it. We haven't been given that data yet, but we should be getting that, I would think, within the next week or so. So we'll probably have that available at our next meeting. And then I think I forwarded to everybody, the Commons had asked me just for some information on the gravel pit, and I really just kind of sent them that email, which covered a lot of what we talked about in the last couple of meetings. So progress, you know, we're making steps as we go, trying to get this information. It's a lot of things to kind of gather up and get in one place. So that's where we're at right now.
Mhm. Yes.
I feel kind of out of it. Are you talking about buying the gravel pit?
Yes.
This particular one?
Yes. Yep.
Mhm.
Yep.
So we're trying to get our ducks in a row and work out details so that we can bring it to voters at either a town meeting or another special town meeting and get information and have answers to questions that will arise from this.
And you're assured that there's plenty of gravel left to be worthwhile?
Yeah, well, that's part of the due diligence that I think we just mentioned. So if you hadn't seen the other ones, so we've looked at the pit, we've walked it, you know, we've got all the permits that went out, that had the initial estimates, just to get it, you know, back out there. So they're extracting, you know, roughly 60,000 yards a year of gravel from that pit. If the two towns can, so we're working with Putney, this would be a joint venture with Putney. We would drop that extraction rate down to about 15,000 yards a year. So extending that life of that gravel pit out, you know, decades down the road to ensure that the two towns have the material. There'd be sand, gravel, ditch stone that would come out of it. But to answer your question directly, that's what Stevens was coming in for right now to come back. We have a basic number, but we decided to go out and get a survey done to get the engineers to come in and give us, you know, here's what we think is left.
Because I knew they'd taken an awful lot out of there. I mean, seeing the trucks are all over.
Yeah, they have, but I think if we can capture this sooner than later, then we're looking at a long time. Otherwise, that gravel pit's going to be exhausted sooner than we want it to. That's where we get our gravel from,
Okay.
and Putney gets their gravel from.
Yeah.
So,
Everybody else around here gets.
yes.
Okay, anything else on the gravel? All right, stay tuned, more to come. An update on the school playing fields, and I guess Christina's not coming. We did get,
She planned on coming. I don't know, she didn't communicate with you that she was coming? Because we had our meeting last night,
yeah,
so.
right. I didn't hear from her today, so,
We might be hearing from her right now.
No,
okay.
no soccer game results.
So, now, Michael McGillian sent us a new, sort of cleaned up, this is their proposed warranty deed that would transfer the grounds to the town, or, you know, the playing fields to the town. And it is a little more detailed than the draft that we'd had
And
before.
this is just basically a sample of whatever.
Okay, and so, I think at the last meeting when Christina Naylor and Michael McGillian were here, we, you know, asked for, one of the concerns was how would the town lease the fields back to You know, would it be the school, it would be the rec board, or who would we lease it back to? Who would be responsible for the insurance and who would be responsible for the mowing? And just want to have that spelled out.
Yeah, because we don't expect this town would have responsibility for any of that.
I don't know if, frankly, if the select board were in charge of maintaining,
Might not be up to
it
standard.
might, yes, the standards might,
Our baseball and soccer coaches might not appreciate that.
Right.
right. So we're hoping that whoever is responsible now would stay responsible for taking care of those. And of course, so we're looking for that information.
Could I say something on
Yes,
this?
of course.
Because I was not here when Michael and Christina spoke, but I came a couple of years ago to present this because we knew this was a possibility coming up with a merger bit. And we just hated to lose control townwide of those fields. Because, and if you look around at what's happened since towns have merged, you don't have to go very far, you could just go up to Wyndham Central up here and see the changes that are just immediately being proposed by a super board over the will of the people. And my particular concern, and I have no dog in here anymore because I don't have, well, I have one granddaughter who's still in the school, but just for the town, that this remain somehow under the town's control for the rec league, for the baseball field that Claude has worked so hard on, that we don't lose that. And if we merged without any transfer of this, it would automatically go to the whole big super board and they would be in charge of it. And even though they might, in the beginning, allow the school to take control, I don't think it would last very long. I think there's so much demand for good playing fields, and ours are good playing fields, that I think we would lose out. And I know there's been some concern among the select board about this, and I fully understand the concern because of other properties that you've had to be involved in, that you weren't supposed to be involved in. But I would hope that the board would be in favor of something like this.
Yes, at the last meeting, the consensus was that we were all willing to go forward with this. And,
Great.
you know, we just needed more information and,
As I noticed some hesitancies over the last year or so, and so I just wanted to, I'm glad to hear that, very glad to hear that, because it is valuable and you were part of the rec league or coaching or whatever in the past. I know you were part of a player in the past. So,
Yeah, I think some of the concerns, the sewage in the well, that's a big one. We don't want to take on responsibility for that.
so if we could cut that out, and I don't know,
Yeah.
Michael had done some,
Work on that.
It's
Work
been,
on it,
I think
yeah.
there's some language in here now about the wells
Yeah.
and the septic fields,
Right.
on that, so.
Mhm.
and they would stay with what, if we have to merge. I mean, we're still working on not doing that and being able to maintain our school the way it is, but if we have to, I hope to break it out. So.
Yeah, and this was just, we're also, and he's probably working on it, he had not included the map yet,
Yeah.
showing the 16
Oh, okay.
whatever acres, so
All right,
we're still waiting on that.
because I had given him some original maps when they were transferred to the school, and he was doing some research up here to follow through, so,
So he's probably still working on that, just to get the map in place.
yeah.
Yeah.
He has a real job too, so,
Yeah.
yeah, everybody's a volunteer,
Mhm.
which is great, and I'd love to see it stay that way, so.
Yeah.
So,
And I'm sorry that Christina isn't here to talk about it.
I thought you were running interference for her, trying to talk out the clock so she had more time to show up here.
No,
Oh, okay, all right.
I thought she'd be here at 6
Yeah.
o'clock and that you would allow her to
Sure.
talk right away. And
Yes.
So I'm sorry, I
We're
can't
always
answer
very
questions.
accommodating,
Yes, you have been, thank you.
but, all right.
So you need to look at this and you need to
Yes.
get back to us, is that what you need to do?
No, we're just waiting for
Waiting
the
for
lease.
Okay,
lease proposals.
Yeah.
Well, that's what you've got right here.
This
It's the
is
deed.
This
a
is,
deed.
this is the deed for the property, but we're waiting for the lease between the school and the,
You didn't get this?
No,
Christina
no.
was gonna send that to you last night.
No,
And we still haven't seen the map.
and the map.
yeah, so those are the two bits of information.
I mean, I suppose I could leave this, I
Yeah,
thought this was coming.
I sent what Christina sent to everyone.
How's the deed?
Which
Yeah,
is this.
that's what
Jenny,
I
you're
thought.
probably better off just to email that to us. 'cause-
Yeah, so we can all have a copy.
Yeah.
Okay, I will,
Okay.
when I leave, I will
So-
get in touch with Christina and have this sent to you, because I thought
Okay.
that's what
No, we
was going to happen
just got
tonight.
the deed.
Okay.
So we'll keep, it gives us something to do at our next meeting. And,
Well, we want to do this before budget season,
yeah,
for both of us.
okay.
Was-
Yes,
just a question is, when you do get a lease, won't you be able to just put in there that they would be responsible for all the maintenance?
I think there's sort of maybe a certain, language that we're,
Okay, yeah.
and, so we're waiting on that.
Yeah, yeah, because, that's what we do with our rental property,
Mhm,
they're responsible.
yeah, so. just
So you
like
said
to-
you got a deed,
Yeah,
Maria?
yeah, it's
That
been
was
updated.
I haven't seen that, so,
Oh,
okay, maybe we'll just switch.
Okay. You're about to say something.
will the town attorney have to review both the deed and the lease?
I'm wondering if let's see. I would assume so, yeah.
Michael happens to work
Yes.
with your town
But
attorney.
At one of our meetings before, we wondered about that, and he said they have this wall
Wall, yeah.
that,
Well, he also said that he was here as a school board member, not
Yes.
as an attorney.
Yeah.
right,
So,
so we would, he's trying to maintain that, keep his work separate from the school board, so we would probably have the attorney look at it, so. So, let's see, is there any other business we have?
you have a
Not that I
motion,
have.
you have a motion to adjourn?
Ah, that was quick.
Yes,
Okay, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
all right,
I'll second.
all those in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Aye.